you may need a tissue for this one. You're going to be really upset about this. The Washington Post, okay? All right, get ready. The Washington Post publisher and CEO, Will Lewis, told his staff yesterday that the paper needs to do something radical to make the company profitable because readership has drastically declined. Now, the meeting became tense at times because some staffers felt that their previous executive editor's departure was not handled correctly, and they objected to a woman being replaced by another white man. And so their editors were like, hold on, the problem is actually that another white man is in charge. But they were told, we're losing large amounts of money. Your audience has halved in recent years. People are not reading your stuff. I can't sugarcoat it anymore. So I've had to take decisive, urgent action to set us on a different path, sourcing talent that I have worked with that are the best of the best. Listen, it couldn't have happened to a more deserving group of people, but I'm just saying, if you want to see how this DEI, or as Eric likes to say, DIE, which I don't disagree with because of course that spells die, if you want to see how this initiative ends up in its final stages, just look at that. I mean, there's no other way to do it. If you hire not based on merit and based off of people's skin tones or, gender or what have you, you are going to have a flailing company that is barely surviving. But I just love, can you imagine? I wish I could be a fly on the wall at that meeting where all of these dumbass radical leftist writers are like, yeah, we're failing because we don't have a woman in charge. And he's like, yeah, actually, no one's reading your shit. Maybe write better. I don't know.
Bottom line, that's always how it has been. And this is the end stage. I don't care who's your investor. You can hold up in doing this nonsense for a little bit. But as we have seen, across the board, major tech companies are doing this. Hollywood studios are also doing this, where the first people that seem to go, doesn't matter if it's anywhere, you name it, the first people that seem to go when the money starts to get tight are these DIE hires or these DIE programs, because they're fake jobs. They're not real. None of that stuff is actually necessary. And they thought they could eat off of that for a long time. And they're realizing that you can't do that. There is an audience that you will kick out the door and they will leave you. Customers, they absolutely will go somewhere else with their readership or with their viewership, with their money. They will go somewhere else. Definitely nowadays is uber competitive. There's a lot more alternatives out there. So when you do implement the programs or you do implement these sort of policies that are, again, a lot of them are self-imposed. A lot of businesses are doing this. And then, well, there's the backlash. Your movie fails or something, which we've talked about. Your video game. You wanted to hire Sweet Baby Inc., who is a consultant company, and they specifically address these issues of inclusivity and equity. Whoops, what do you mean? Our game lost $100 million. What could have happened? Well, now we got to shut down an entire studio or something like that. This is happening in the real world everywhere. But yes, this is the end game. You might can ride on that investor money for a while, all those guys backing you, but eventually that will run dry. It will.
Yeah, well, my favorite part of the story, and hold on, it is hard to pick, I will just say, because I love practically everything about this story, except that WAPO hasn't just fully gone under yet. But I love that one of the sources told the New York Post apparently that the manager, he cannot expect to bring in new readers when he's abolished all diversity from the leadership. It's like, oh, that's right, because when I click on a headline, whether it be Washington Post or Blaze or Daily Mail or whatever, I'm clicking on it because I know what color the person is who wrote the article. Like, it's on the internet. You have no idea who it is. When you click on it, you either click on it because you're interested or you don't. And these jackasses still don't understand basics of, like, not just journalism, but working on the freaking internet.
Yeah, this is business as well. I mean, that's just kind of what it is. You have to provide something that people want. And when you don't provide something that people want, they won't buy your stuff. They won't read it. They will absolutely walk away. Nobody cares about that other stuff that y'all going on about with diversity and equity and inclusivity and representation. Nobody's watching a movie for that reason. Nobody's reading a book for that reason. Nobody's reading an article. Nobody's clicking on any of that crap because of the makeup of the folks that did it. And if anything, we do often look at the makeup and it's like, oh, yep, that's exactly what it looked like. You look at these crazy sort of left-wing article writers, and you read the article and it's a bunch of nonsense, and you already have in your head, I know exactly how this woman looks like. It's a probably non-binary, colorful hair, all that good stuff. And then I click on it at the bottom and it takes me to their Twitter page, and whoops, right there, I guessed it correctly. Ultimately, though, it just should not matter. Nobody cares about that, and people are going to find out the hard way if they keep investing in this DIE crap.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, just one last thing on this, and then I know we do have to go to break. But I mean, speaking as someone who you own a business, right? And I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want to be real careful how I phrase this, because I don't think that you clearly are not easily offended. So I don't want to say that you would be offended, but like, imagine how it would feel if you are a very successful entrepreneur with a very successful, comic book series, and it just would feel like you're being robbed of all of your original thought, of all of your hard work, for someone to be like, yeah, I just bought the comic book because he was black.
Yeah, that's not good by any means. It's a lot of work that goes into what I do as a business owner. And look, we have people that are of different makeup here at the Rippaverse. I just don't hire based on that. I don't care. I'm not hiring. I don't bring on writers based on any of that crap, or creators, or even people that work in the warehouse for that matter. It's a matter of, can you do the job? That's all that matters. And yeah, to your point, it is rather insulting if people did more so lean towards that way, and they don't, obviously, if they were like, well, you are of a certain ill, you're black, and that's the only reason why people support it. That's absolute nonsense. And I wouldn't be around that long if that were the case as well, because that's going to be the flakiest audience that one can garner.
Right, yeah, exactly. Harvard, just hire teachers and professors who are good at their jobs. Washington Post, I mean, I do hope you go under because you're just the scum of the earth. But if I were to give you any business, actually, I don't want to give you any business advice. Keep hiring based off of DEI, WAPO, okay? That's going really great for you. I think you should keep it up. I think you should put more stories out about diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's what everyone wants to read, I promise. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.